Impact Productions, a multi-layer technology company providing on-site, online, and in-studio video services. Contact Impact Productions to capture your story.
Hey y'all, welcome to the show. Today we're gonna make barbecue brisket.
Mouth-watering family recipes, easy to make meals, humor and faith fill the inspiring new show Dano on the Counter. Born with only half a spine, Dano Burkhardt was never supposed to be able to hold his head up. Despite countless surgeries, a stroke, leg amputations, and kidney transplants, Dano developed a contagious love for life. Join Dano as he shares his easy-to-make dishes and the hope that keeps him pushing forward.
For the barbecue brisket, you're gonna need a 4-pound beef brisket, a half cup of chopped celery, 1 large chopped onion, 1 cup of ketchup, a half cup of barbecue sauce, 3 tablespoons of vinegar, a teaspoon of Tabasco or hot sauce, 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, a teaspoon of salt, a half teaspoon of pepper, and 1.5 cups of water. Hey y'all, we're heading over to the grocery store to pick up our groceries for today's show. And I just want to touch on something here that maybe some of you may not know, but as you can tell by all the commercials that we air during the show, one of our big sponsors is of course Dick's Home Care. And one of the main reasons they sponsor this show is because also I work for them as well. I've worked for Randy Dick and his family for about just a little over 14 years now. And Randy and his family have been great to me over the years. And his parents have started the pharmacy, and Randy taken over and started the home care there. And working for him, he really gave me a chance right out of school, and helped me kind of earn my own income and help me have my own independence. And I'm so thankful for that, you know. And he's behind me 100% on this show, and we think it as a good little ministry that we have here by just showing people what I can do and what God has done in my life. And so we're thankful for him, obviously. And if you need medical equipment, give me a call. I'm now the general manager over at Dick's Home Care, so stop by and see me. It's kind of funny when people come into the store and grab things. They'll see me in there and they'll say, "Oh, hey, I saw you cooking on Sunday," or "I saw you in one of the commercials." So that's pretty cool. But yeah, if you ever need medical equipment, stop in and see me. Obviously we deliver the home, hospital discharges. Hopefully nobody ends up in the hospital, but if you need us, we're there for you. And we're a great company. We're faith-based, great Christian owners, and we're here to help the community any way we can. And just look me up and stop by and see me anytime. All right, so on today's show, we're going to make our beef brisket. So to do that, we're going to use a barbecue sauce that we're going to make from scratch. Well, kind of, sort of. So to do that, we're going to get some celery and some onions, and then we're going to make it with some ketchup and barbecue sauce, mix it all together, throw it in the oven. It's going to be phenomenal. So we're going to grab our celery and onions. Those are the first 2 things that we need. All right, for the next thing we're going to need for our sauces, we're just going to use about a cup of barbecue sauce. Of course, there's a million different ones you can choose from, but I like Sweet Baby Ray's, so we'll grab some of that. We also need about a tablespoon of hot sauce, so we're just going to use some regular Tabasco, but if you have a favorite that you want to use, go ahead and pick out whatever one you like to use at your house, but Tabasco works fine. All right, the last thing that we need for our sauce is, of course, about a cup of ketchup. Got to go with Heinz, got to go with the Pittsburgh local thing, so grab some of that. And then we'll cut it down with a little bit of white vinegar to cut down that heat from that chili powder and Tabasco. All right, so the most important ingredient, of course, for our beef brisket is the actual beef brisket itself, right? So we have them here. This is 15 pounds. We're only gonna cook about 5. So you can take this to the butcher, have them break it down for you, and only buy a section of it. But since we like brisket so much, we're gonna buy the whole thing. So we're gonna spend, about 90 bucks, get 15 pounds of brisket. This is gonna make a ton, but you can also freeze it once you cut it down and use it next time. Throw it in the smoker or whatever you want. But for this recipe, we're only gonna use about 5 pounds of it, but we'll take the whole thing. And you can see it's about as big as me. Let's throw this in the cart. All right, so we're gonna make that sauce from scratch with that barbecue sauce, that chili powder, vinegar, Tabasco, and then we're gonna mix that all together, the water, the onions, the celery, throw it on top of the brisket, then we're gonna bake it off in the oven for about 4 hours. It's got that heat and that sweetness of that barbecue sauce in there. It's gonna be phenomenal. So I think we have everything that we need from here. We're gonna head back to the house and start cooking.
Made by Vogel is a father and son business that produces high-quality handmade wooden products such as cutting boards, bowls, bottle stoppers, and more. Products for sale can be found on their Etsy site or in downtown Altoona at the Clay Cup. You can't go wrong buying from Made by Vogel.
Your value is not determined by where you are in life right now. Your label cannot keep you from Jesus. It should drive you to Jesus. They may have birthed you, but they didn't create you. How many times have you heard this? Make him Lord of your life. You can't make him Lord of your life. You cannot make him Lord. He already is Lord. God never intended you to live on a bridge. There are times and seasons in your life that are a bridge from A to C, and we make a home on a bridge and we wonder why it went bad. The greatest thing you can do for your sense of value is pick up the Word of God. You don't need another book. You don't need some other author tell you, I'm not against books, I'm not against authors, but the Word of God is medicine unto your soul. You need to remember your redemption so you move forward. Sometimes we got to go backwards in order to go forward.
I want to encourage you to join us every Sunday here on ABC at 5 a.m. and 12 p.m. You can also catch the archive of our messages by visiting transformationchurch.org. Transformation Church. It's who we are, it's what we do.
Hi, my name is Thad Dick.
And I'm Aiden. We're the 5th generation of Dick's Home Care.
And our family is here for your health.
Purify O3 is the simple, effective way to clean your CPAP or BiPAP. It provides hospital-grade sanitation, killing 99.99% of bacteria and germs with the touch of a button. Everything you need comes in one affordable kit for just $1.90. It's available exclusively at Dick's Home Care, Central Pennsylvania's leader in home medical equipment.
Hi, my name is Thad Dick.
And I'm Aiden. We're the 5th generation of Dick's Home Care.
And our family is here for your health.
If you're looking for a stair lift, I would definitely recommend Bruno stair lifts. The reason people get Bruno stair lifts from Dick's Home Care is it keeps them in the home that they love. We also have a rental program on the stair lifts. My customers coming back to me saying, I'm so glad I bought this.
Dick's Home Care, Central Pennsylvania's leader in mobility products.
Hey y'all, welcome into the kitchen this week. Today we're gonna make one of my favorite dishes, barbecue brisket. Now this is a non-traditional barbecue brisket because we're not gonna smoke it. We're just gonna throw this in the oven. This is one of those Sunday meals that you pop in the oven, head to church, come back like at 12 o'clock after you put it in the oven and you're like, wow, the whole house smells like it. Even the crew, today we made one earlier and the crew was saying how great the house smelled today. So this is something that you can cook ahead of time, put it in the oven before church. When you get home, it'll be done and ready to eat, and it is fantastic. Now this recipe comes from my grandmother, Grammy Scully over in Pittsburgh. This is Jen's mom over there, so hi to Grandma Scully. Thanks for the recipe. I've had this dish many times here. Jen has made it for us here at the house, and I love it. And so I just want to thank you for sharing this recipe with me, and hopefully everybody at home is able to try it and likes it and enjoys it as well. So to get things started, we're going to start with just an onion and a couple ribs of celery, and we're making the barbecue sauce for the brisket itself. So we just have our onion here, and we're just going to chop this up. Like I said, this is a good Sunday afternoon meal. This is one of those meals that you're going to eat and then you're going to want to take a nap and not do anything really the rest of the day. We usually eat this either with mashed potatoes or over noodles. but it's delicious, and I hope you guys really enjoy it and get a chance to make it for yourself. So I'm just chopping up some onion here. Just gonna dice it up, and then do this other half here. This is just one medium onion. Just gonna slice this through here. Try to get some small little pieces there. All right, onion is good to go. Now we have our celery here. Just a little rough chop on the celery. Doesn't have to be perfect. This is gonna cook up in the brisket itself in the oven. So no need to saute this or cook this ahead of time. It's all gonna cook up with the meat. So our celery here, all chopped up. Oop, got one piece that's stuck together there. Break those up. And then our final piece here. All right. So we're just gonna throw this in a bowl here. Our celery and onion. Get all that veggie in there. And the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make our sauce. And we're gonna put this all together, and then we're gonna coat our brisket with it and then put it in the oven. So for our sauce, I'm gonna use our good old friend, Mr. Ketchup. We're gonna need about a cup of ketchup. So we'll squeeze that in here. And I'm gonna eyeball this. You certainly could measure this out, but it doesn't have to be perfect, because more sauce the better. So we got about a cup of ketchup. Then we're gonna add about half a cup of barbecue sauce. And you can use any barbecue sauce you want. We have some Baby Ray's here. We'll add that in there. Then we're gonna add a little bit of Tabasco, a little bit of hot sauce, that little bit of heat. Just a couple teaspoons of that. Now you could add more if you want. If you want to leave this out, you could, but you're gonna cut this with vinegar, so it's really not gonna be that hot. And once it cooks up with the brisket in the oven, it's really not that spicy. Next thing, just a little bit of chili powder, about a tablespoon. Again, I'm just eyeballing it. We'll have the exact recipe, obviously, in the beginning of the show, so you'll know the exact measurements, but I'm telling you, if you just eyeball it, you'll be fine. Then, like I said, we're gonna cut this with a little bit of vinegar. About 3 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3. And then next, a little Worcestershire sauce. I don't know if anybody knows how to actually say this, but it's Worcestershire. Worcestershire. I don't know. But anyhow, we're gonna put some of this in there. A couple tablespoons of this. And that'll add that barbecue flavor. A little smokiness. It'll be nice and good there. Now, we're just gonna mix all this up. We got our ketchup, barbecue sauce, chili powder, hot sauce, Worcestershire sauce, onions and celery. Now, this smells awesome. These flavors are really good all together. This barbecue sauce mixture would be really good even on chicken or pork, but we're gonna do it on beef today. The last step with the sauce itself is we're gonna cut this with a little bit of water just to cook the beef in. So I'm gonna add about a cup and a half of water just to cut this, and then we're gonna prepare the actual brisket. All right, so let's talk about a little bit about that brisket that we bought from the store today. Of course, I've cut this down considerably from that 15-pound of brisket that we had. I trimmed most of that cat fat off the top of it, and I'm just left with about a 5-pound piece of brisket. But I am leaving a small layer of fat on here because I want that to flavor the meat as it cooks. If you cut all that fat off, you're just gonna have a dry piece of beef, and it's gonna be terrible, and nobody's gonna like it, and nobody's gonna come over for dinner anymore. So trust me on this one. Leave a little fat on there. It's gonna make it taste so much better. You can take the fat off at the end once it's cooked down into the meat. Once the actual layer of fat is still on there, you can just peel that off, take that out. Nobody wants to actually eat it, but you need that for the flavor. So I had that brisket. I have it trimmed down. I'm just gonna put that in our 13x9 baking dish. Then we have our sauce here that we made. I cut this down with some water, about a cup and a half. And then I have the celery, the onion, and the barbecue sauces, and the ketchup and everything, all the seasonings in there. Now I'm just gonna pour this over our piece of meat. And then we're just gonna bake this off. So we'll just throw this over top here. This is all gonna cook down. Those vegetables are gonna cook down into that meat. That sauce and flavor is gonna penetrate that meat. It's gonna be phenomenal. And I'm telling you, when you get home from church today, you are gonna be like, what is that smell? You're gonna love it and want to dig in right away. But of course, like when I was a kid, your mom and dad are like, nobody eats dinner, nobody touches anything until you change out of your church clothes, right? It seems like nowadays everybody's a little bit more casual than we were back in the 90s, but that was my mom and dad's stickler all the time. You couldn't go outside and play, and you couldn't eat dinner yet until you changed out of your good church clothes. So we'll pop this in the oven. We're gonna cook this at 325. We're gonna cook this for about 3.5, 4 hours, depending on how heavy a piece of meat that you bought. But normally it's about, for a 4-pound, you're gonna go about 3.5 hours at 325. Just keep an eye on it that last, half hour or something like that. If you need to maybe pop it in for a little longer, it's fine. You're not gonna hurt it. With all that sauce and all that in there, it's gonna be fine and juicy. You're not gonna overcook it. So don't worry about that. So we're gonna pop this in the oven, and then we're gonna take it out, and then we're gonna shred it up, and then we're gonna serve this with some either mashed potatoes or noodles. In this case today, we're gonna have our mashed potatoes. So we'll pop this in the oven. We'll be back in a couple seconds. All right, y'all, so it's after church, right? We're back home. We pulled the brisket out of the oven. I've taken it out of the pan. I have these nice juices here that it's cooked in with that celery and onion and barbecue sauce and ketchup. It's gonna make a great gravy for this. So I took out the brisket. Now I'm just gonna slice it down. And like I talked about earlier, this fat layer, you can just cut this off because you don't really want anybody biting into a big old piece of gristle. But then I'm gonna slice down the actual brisket, and you want to go against the grain and just kind of make nice little thin slices. And what I'm going to do is, as I slice it down, I'm going to actually put the meat back in the gravy. We're going to mix it all together, and then we're going to serve it over mashed potatoes, or you can cook it and put it over noodles. Whatever you prefer. But you can see how tender this is. I mean, this is just coming apart here in your hands. Nice and it's still really hot though. So it's, it just breaks apart here. You can just kind of pull it. But we're gonna put it back in the sauce, and then we're gonna serve it over mashed potatoes. Now this is a great meal, and it tastes awesome. So I couldn't resist. But we're just gonna slice this up, make little bite-sized pieces of it, put it in the sauce, and then we'll serve it over our potatoes. So I'm gonna keep on slicing this down, and as I'm doing that, we're gonna head over to the studio for a little inspirational message.
Hi, my name is Dad Dick,
And I'm Aiden. We're the 5th generation of Dick's Home Care.
and our family is here for your health.
If you're considering a lift chair, call or stop in and see us at Dick's Home Care. Our chairs come in a wide variety of fabrics and finishes. We even have chairs that are able to be closer to your wall in case you have a small space.
Dick's Home Care, Central Pennsylvania's leader in mobility products.
When it's time for a new roof, Champion Roofing is your best choice. We're a certified award-winning roofing contractor, meaning your roof is done right the first time. Call today.
Champion Roofing, we're the solution.
Impact Productions, a multi-layer technology company providing on-site, online, and in-studio video services. Contact Impact Productions to capture your story.
When Adam put his house on the market, he asked his agent for a discount on the commission. His agent said, "Commission is 6%. Perry Wellington Realty charges a 4.5% commission, and we back it with all the bells and whistles. Drone video shot by our own licensed drone pilots, 3D property tours, custom property videos shot by a production team with broadcast TV experience, even free moving trucks. Call us today for a free consultation."
Hey y'all, welcome into the studio today. Today I want to talk about one of the greatest things, something that has always driven my life, and that is joy. And I just, people come up to me all the time and they're like, "Oh, you are such a joy to be around. You have a joyful spirit about you. I don't know how you're so positive in the things that has happened to you and how you can remain positive." But those are the things that I want to challenge you today about, and hopefully share a little bit about my story, about how I have that joy and where that joy comes from and how you can have that joy as well. Joy just comes from God. It's one of the fruits of the Spirit, and I think He's given me a double dose of it. I think that of all the fruits of the Spirit, joy is the one that really has the most impact on my life. And I'm so thankful for that, because all the challenges that I've been through, of the sickness and the disappointments and things like that have come my way, joy is something that I can always turn to and that I always have in my heart. And I'm so thankful God has given that to me. So I hope that you have joy in your life as well. There's so many times in life that we are faced with disappointments and things go wrong, and we just lose that joy so fast. It is one of the easiest things to lose right away, as somebody hurts you or something doesn't go your way. Joy just disappears right away, and you're like, you go right into almost depression or anger, where did that joy go? And I want to tell you how you can get that joy back. One of the important things is obviously to seek God, to ask God to bring that joy back into your life. Get involved in prayer and meditation, get into the Word. Ask God to show you joy in your life and bring joy. He may bring other people into your life. He might bring great things in your life that will help you see that joy again. And that's really the whole meaning of what God wants in your life. God wants you to be a joyful person. He does not want you to be angry and upset and worried about things. He wants you to give it all to Him so He can bring that joy. The joy of the Lord, is in you. And I just think that is such a awesome thing, that it can have an impact not only on your life and your daily walk with Him, but the impact of other people around you. How are you sharing joy? And how do you get that joy? By serving others. There are so many opportunities that you're faced with every day that you can serve somebody, you can help somebody in some small way. And not only are you going to bring joy to their life, but you're going to be rewarded yourself by, I'm glad I was able to help that person. And now you'll look back and say, wow, it'll bring a smile to your face that you thought of somebody else other than yourself, obviously. But God's going to reward you for that. He's going to take care of you and give you that accomplishment of, hey, I gave you this opportunity and you stepped out and you did something awesome for somebody else. So service, serving others, prayer, asking God to help you. And then also, joy is a choice. In life and in daily walk, things that happen to you, choose joy, right? There are so many times in my life that I'm faced a challenge and I could be depressed and I could sit at home and do nothing and be like, wow, this is too difficult for me to handle. I don't know what to do. I'm going to be sad, but I don't. I choose joy. I choose to be excited about what God has done in my life. Don't worry about things that I don't have. I'm excited about things I do have. And that is something that you can do yourself, something that I know God is given everybody. Like I said earlier about the fruits of the Spirit, something that He has given everybody. Some people a little bit more than others, of course. But I just encourage you today to choose joy in every situation. I've been through a lot, but there's nothing that I can't handle by what God has given me, the strength and the joy that He's put in my life. I know when I'm faced with a challenge, when I'm laying in a hospital and I'm sick and I don't know what to do, I can, choose to go one or two ways here. I can choose to be depressed and angry about the situation, or I can say, you know what, God is going to get me through this, and I'm just going to show the joy of the Lord in me to others. And you know what, his life and what He's done in my life is going to be a testimony to other people and help them get through their tough situations as well. So my challenge to you today is when you're faced with a difficult situation and you think that hey, anger is the way to go, I'm telling you to choose joy. You will be rewarded for it. Ask God to help you. He's going to help you get through it. That joy is going to spread throughout this community and throughout the nation. I just know it because God is everywhere and He wants the best for you, but He wants you to be joyful. So my challenge today again is choose joy. Don't choose anger or disappointment. Focus on the good things God has done, and I'm telling you, greater things and better things are yet to come. So I hope that encourages you a little bit today. In the meantime, let's head over to the kitchen and enjoy some awesome food. Welcome into the dining room here, guys. We're sitting here with Troy and Chow, our crew today. We had our barbecue brisket, put it over some mashed potatoes. All right, guys, dive in. Let me know what you think of that brisket. I know it's tender, I know that.
That is phenomenal.
Nice and tender, nice sweet barbecue sauce.
I even like it over with potato. That's a nice little touch.
Yeah. Onion and celery, nice good sauce.
Very good.
There's a little tang to it, a little heat, Well, hopefully you guys can try this at home. Remember, put it in the oven before church and eat it after. Thank you so much for watching Dano on the Counter. We'll see you next week.